The story everyone thought they understood just collapsed in plain sight because the one person the world expected to see was there but somehow never existed on camera. And that silence is screaming louder than any headline ever could.
This is the actual audio of the boos that the Harkles received.
It's turned into a debacle.
As always.
There's always a hoorah whenever he is here.
Yeah.
What people don't realise, he's been here 6 times in the last few years with no problems really in security.
It's Jamageddon as Meghan Markle faces a genuine bankruptcy crisis. And I believe the total collapse of this disastrous business explains why she now wants to return to the UK with her tail between her legs.
I don't think she wants to be on the arm of a loser. And what does Meghan Markle do when Harry's going through difficult times publicly? She disappears.
Yes, I mean, honestly, this has not lifted my mood at all. The Sussexes have won. Meghan Markle, Paul Murray, back on royal property. And it's my understanding that William's furious about this.
The door was open, then it was closed. You talk about a woman bringing the ghetto into the royal family. This right here is on full display ghetto what is happening.
Prince Harry landed in the UK on July 7th with his wife and children by his side. Or so the headlines wanted you to believe. 5 days, one country, and by the end of it, only one of them had actually shown their face in public. That's where it starts to feel wrong. Not slightly off, not coincidental, completely deliberately off. Because if Prince Harry truly arrived with his entire family, then why did the entire country only witness one narrative, one face, one story? And more importantly, one carefully controlled version of reality. 5 days, one country, and somehow Meghan Markle, arguably the most watched, most talked about figure in that entire equation, managed to vanish without a single confirmed visual trace. Not one photograph, not one candid shot, not one accidental glimpse. In a country where cameras don't blink and tabloids don't sleep, how does that happen?
This should be about the veterans.
Meghan's silence is deafening, and not even whereas quite often when we see William and Catherine do something, up pops something from the Sussex camp.
Harry was everywhere. Cameras caught him at the Invictus Games one-year countdown event in Birmingham, shaking hands, cracking jokes, doing what he does best in front of a lens. He was photographed visiting hospitals, meeting veterans, playing wheelchair rugby for the reporters who'd flown in just to catch a glimpse of him. Everywhere, that's the word. Everywhere, which makes the absence feel even louder. Because Prince Harry didn't just show up, Prince Harry performed. Smiling, engaging, playing the role perfectly. A man reconnecting, rebuilding, reappearing. Cameras followed Prince Harry like a shadow, capturing every handshake, every laugh, every calculated moment of visibility. But while Prince Harry stepped deeper into the spotlight, Meghan Markle stepped further into something else entirely. Not privacy, something colder, something more precise.
You know, we saw Harry giving something to the members of the Ugandan delegation who will be competing there next year, doing the work around promoting it, which he's good at.
Yeah.
But he's much better at it when he's on his own.
And on Friday afternoon, in complete privacy, he brought his children to Highgrove House to see their grandfather for the first time in 4 years. Meghan Markle did none of that. Not one public appearance, not one photograph, not one word. That's not just absence, that's a pattern. Because Meghan Markle wasn't missing from the trip. Meghan Markle was missing from the version of the trip the public was allowed to see. And that difference, that's where the real story begins to fracture. Because somehow, behind closed gates, behind controlled access, behind silence that feels almost engineered, Meghan Markle was present at the most emotionally significant moment of the entire visit. Highgrove, King Charles, the grandchildren, a reunion 4 years in the making. And yet, no proof, no image, no confirmation anyone could touch.
She was supposed to have been with him this week at 2 engagements, but she pulled out, citing security concerns. I don't think Meghan particularly wants to build any bridges with the UK or the royal family here.
Her office confirmed it days before the trip even began. The Duchess of Sussex would not be attending any of the public events her husband was scheduled for. The official reason, according to multiple outlets, came down to security. Security Security, the word that explains everything and somehow explains nothing. Because once you start following that explanation, it begins to unravel almost immediately.
Just days before Harry's expected return to Britain, the Royal and VIP Executive Committee, aka RAVIC, has reportedly declined requests for additional security for this trip, throwing into question whether Meghan Markle, Archie, and Lily will make the trip after all.
Long-running discussions about state-funded protection for the couple had gone nowhere, and her team decided the safest option was simply to disappear from the itinerary altogether. On paper, that sounds reasonable. On paper, it sounds flawless, logical, sensible, even responsible. But real life doesn't happen on paper. Real life happens in contradictions, and this story is drowning in them.
And then on Saturday, it was, no. Whoopsie daisy. We didn't get the security that we wanted, so yeah, now the kids and Meghan aren't going.
Small fortune fighting that decision in court, losing appeal after appeal. Because here's where it stops being simple. Prince Harry has already fought publicly, aggressively for security. Courtrooms, appeals, losses, millions, the argument has been made again and again, safety is non-negotiable. So if safety is truly the line that cannot be crossed, then why does that line suddenly bend?
The fact is, Harry chose to leave royal duties and chose to leave the UK and live in North America. And as a result, he was not entitled to round-the-clock security, and that is a decision he made.
If the government won't guarantee her safety on British soil, why would she walk into a crowd of photographers at the Nest in Birmingham? Why would she stand next to her husband at a countdown event with wheelchair athletes and press pens 20ft away? That question should settle it. It should close the case. But it doesn't, because the next detail doesn't just reopen the case, it detonates it.
The Duchess of Douchebag has pulled out. So she decided she was never going to go. She's pulled out of the one-year countdown to the Invictus Games in Birmingham, and that is for tomorrow.
But here's what doesn't add up for a lot of people watching this unfold. If security was genuinely the concern, the fix should have applied everywhere, every time, no exceptions. Thing is, though, looks like that doesn't matter now, as Hazer is trying to explore all his options to try and still get Mexi and the kids back to the UK. What a difference a couple of years make, right, guys? Instead, Meghan reportedly still traveled to the UK. She was still on British soil with her children. She still, by every account, made it all the way to Highgrove House for that private meeting with King Charles. The only thing missing was the part where anyone could see her. Do you think there will be any family photographs? Do you think anyone will be allowed to take any proof that they were actually there? And if not, why? And that's it. That's the crack everything falls through. Because Meghan Markle wasn't avoiding the UK. Meghan Markle wasn't avoiding travel. Meghan Markle wasn't even avoiding the royal family. Meghan Markle was avoiding something far more specific: visibility, public exposure. The uncontrolled moment, the frame that can't be edited, curated, or reshaped later. So now the question changes. It's no longer was Meghan Markle there? It becomes, why was Meghan Markle only there when no one could see Meghan Markle? Because if Meghan Markle was safe enough for Highgrove, safe enough for King Charles, safe enough to move across the country with children, then what exactly made the cameras the most dangerous place of all? Because once you start pulling at that thread, the entire narrative begins to shift, and suddenly it's not just about where Meghan Markle was, it's about when Meghan Markle chose to be seen, and when Meghan Markle made sure Meghan Markle wouldn't be. The timeline doesn't sit still, it tightens, because everything that happened around this visit wasn't happening in isolation. It was stacking, layer by layer, pressure building in ways that don't show up in a single headline but explode when you connect them. Prince Harry wasn't just visiting. Prince Harry was coming off a loss, a public one, a costly one, a case that dragged Prince Harry into the spotlight for all the wrong reasons, draining money, attention, and control all at once. And right as that pressure peaked, right as scrutiny started circling harder, the optics of this UK visit suddenly became everything. Every movement mattered. Every appearance carried weight. Every absence even more. And right there, in the middle of that storm, Meghan Markle disappears from view, but not from the country, not from the story, just from the parts of the story that couldn't be controlled. Because think about what each version creates. When Prince Harry stands alone, Prince Harry becomes the focus, the emotional center, the son returning, the father reconnecting, the figure people can sympathize with. Cameras soften around Prince Harry because Prince Harry is visible, accessible, human in those moments. But Meghan Markle becomes something else entirely. Untouched, unquestioned, outside the blast radius of every difficult headline chasing Prince Harry across that week. And that's where it stops looking fucking accidental. Because Meghan Markle didn't avoid the UK. Meghan Markle didn't avoid Highgrove. Meghan Markle didn't avoid King Charles. Meghan Markle avoided the version of the trip where questions live, where comparisons happen, where the narrative isn't locked before it begins. And suddenly the silence starts to feel strategic. Because while Prince Harry was photographed at events, while Prince Harry was answering presence with presence, Meghan Markle was answering pressure with absence. And absence in a situation like this isn't empty. It's powerful. It removes risk. It removes unpredictability. It removes the one thing Meghan Markle has spent years battling: uncontrolled perception. But the contradictions don't stop there. Because outside the UK, another story was quietly unfolding. Reports, numbers, questions about finances, about a brand that isn't performing the way it once promised, about expectations tightening, about pressure shifting behind closed doors. And right when those questions start getting louder, right when attention starts drifting into uncomfortable territory, Meghan Markle steps out of sight at the exact moment visibility could have made things worse. That timing doesn't just raise eyebrows, it redraws the entire situation. Because if Meghan Markle had appeared publicly, if Meghan Markle had stood beside Prince Harry, every camera wouldn't just capture support, they would capture context, they would capture comparison, they would capture a version of Meghan Markle that Meghan Markle couldn't fully control. And in a week where everything around Prince Harry was already under scrutiny, that risk multiplies fast. So what looks like absence might actually be positioning. Appear where it helps, disappear where it complicates, stay present for the private moments that build connection, Highgrove, King Charles, the children, but step away from the public stage where narratives turn unpredictable. And if that's the pattern, then this wasn't just a decision. It was a calculated split between two realities, one for cameras, one without them. And that's why people can't let it go, because both explanations still exist at the same time. The security argument is real. The threats are documented. The concern isn't imaginary. But the contradictions, they're just as real, just as visible, just as difficult to ignore. So now the story doesn't settle. It divides. Was Meghan Markle protecting safety or protecting narrative? Was Meghan Markle avoiding danger or avoiding exposure? Because after 4 years away, after 5 days back on British soil, when the world finally had the chance to see everything come together again, the most talked about figure chose to remain exactly where no one could confirm anything. No image, no proof, no closure. And that kind of silence doesn't end a story. It traps it right in the middle, where the questions only get louder.